The poisonous air is not just swallowing our lungs, it's also devouring our wealth. A massive hole is opening up in Delhi's Treasury. The air you breathe every morning carries more poison than life. The SAM air that once defined Delhi's freshness has now turned into a silent layer of death. But this time, the story isn't just about lungs. It's about how the air is eating away at our wallets, our businesses, and our entire economy. That smog covering the sky is actually drilling holes in Delhi's coffers. And those holes are so deep that not just crores, but billions of rupees are vanishing every single day. As winter begins, the capital once again slips into its old curse, the SAM smog, the 𝐮𝐸𝐥𝐿, the SAM burning throats and stinging eyes. But this time, there's a difference. People aren't just falling sick, they're starting to flee. Recent surveys reveal that 4 out of every 10 residents of Delhi now want to leave the city, simply because its air has become a compromise with life itself. This statistic isn't just a health emergency. It's the declaration of an economic disaster. When a city starts driving away its people, it means the money flowing through its veins has begun to dry up. Delhi was once seen as the economic heartbeat of India. Government policies, corporate headquarters, startups, research labs, every corner buzzed with opportunity. But now that buzz has turned into a cough. Offices run on air purifiers, school children play wearing masks, and every evening the streets look as if someone has scattered ashes across the sky. And the price of this ashes being paid not just with lungs, but with hard cash. You'll be shocked to know that Delhi's economy loses billions of dollars every year because of this poisonous air. In 2019 alone, pollution caused an estimated loss of 46 crore. And that figure is only rising faster. Nearly 6% of Delhi's GDP disappears into this toxic 𝐼𝐥𝐿 each year. And these aren't just numbers. They represent the lives and livelihoods of people being suffocated by this deadly air. On one side are the shopkeepers whose stores now stand empty, because people no longer want to step out of their homes. During peak pollution days, Delhi's markets, which used to stay lively even after Diwali, now appear deserted. Connaught Place, Sarojini Nagar, Karol Bagh, Lajpat Nagar, the places where lakhs of rupees changed hands every day, now see only a handful of customers. And when shopping stops, business in the city freezes too. Estimates suggest that Delhi suffers a direct business loss of around 100 crore every single day. That's not all. Delhi's tourism industry is also choking in this poisonous air. In winters, when foreign tourists used to visit Delhi after seeing the Taj Mahal, now those SAM travelers check the AQI before booking their flights. A report says that in recent years, the number of foreign tourists visiting Delhi during November-December has dropped by 30%. The city that once reflected incredible India has now turned into an invisible city, shrouded in smog, barely breathable. But the most terrifying impact is seen on the human body and the ability to work. Every person who steps out for the office each morning is now fighting not just against time, but also against the air. Every breath of poison is slowly killing productivity. The IT sector alone employs lakhs of people, yet pollution is driving a sharp rise in sick leaves. Estimates suggest that the IT industry alone loses about $1.3 billion annually due to employees falling sick, feeling fatigued, or opting for early retirement. Doctors in Delhi say young patients are now coming in at age 30 with lungs that resemble those of a 60-year-old. Asthma, cough, and allergies have become everyday words. And these illnesses aren't just seen in hospitals, they've crept into offices, factories, even schools. When a person gets sick, their efficiency drops. And when an entire city falls ill, its economy begins to crumble. That is exactly what's happening to Delhi. Just think about it. If a laborer can't go to work because he struggles to breathe, if a delivery boy is gasping for air inside his mask while riding his bike, if a teacher is teaching children while wearing a mask, Is this merely a health problem? No. This is the slow poison of the economy. Every lost day, every reduced hour, every strained breath. Together they make a city economically sick, a city that once used to run the fastest. This problem is no longer just an environmental issue. It has now become a human capital crisis. Delhi, once the meeting point of talent and opportunity, is now losing its own people. Recent surveys show that 40% of Delhi's residents are now planning to leave the city. This number is as alarming as a pandemic. And this migration isn't limited to the rich. It includes laborers, teachers, healthcare workers, and startup employees alike. The migrant workers, who were once the backbone of Delhi's machinery, are now returning to their villages. 57% of them say they no longer wish to stay in Delhi because life here has become expensive and the air deadly. These are the very people who kept Delhi's construction sites, factories, and markets running. If they leave, the economic engine of Delhi will come to a halt. And this is where another invisible loss begins, the loss of property value. Real estate prices in Delhi have already stagnated. Areas once called prime locations are now being avoided by home buyers. After all, when the air is poisonous, who would want to raise their children in such an environment? That's why even in neighboring regions like Gurugram, Noida, Faridabad, and Ghaziabad, people now invest with a mask on because clean air has become the new luxury. Yet every year, both the Delhi government and the central government repeat the same story: artificial rain, prohibitions, and temporary measures. This year alone, 3.21 crore was spent on artificial rain experiments to reduce smog. Each trial cost around 64 lakh. And the result? Just a few light drizzles, followed the next day by the same suffocating hedge. This drama plays out year after year. Plans are made, meetings are held, files circulate. And yet, the air remains just as toxic. The truth is, we never reach the root of the solution. Until there is concrete and consistent action on stubble burning, industrial emissions, and vehicular pollution, this same story will repeat every winter. Delhi has become the capital of suffocation. And this isn't limited to North India anymore. It's slowly choking the entire nation. Now just think, if the capital city is in such a dire condition, what about the rest of the country? Lucknow, Kanpur, Patna, Chandigarh, all are falling under the grip of this smog. Reports reveal that 18 out of 20 cities in North India rank among the world's most polluted. This is not just an environmental crisis, it's a social failure. And the cost of this failure will be paid by future generations. The children who can no longer run freely in school playgrounds. Their bones, their brains, their futures are all slowly being poisoned. Doctors say that pollution doesn't just damage lungs, it also affects a child's intelligence, sleep, and overall development. In other words, this toxic air is swallowing the potential of our next generation. Yet, amid this darkness, there is a small ray of hope. Some startups and NGOs have joined the battle to save the air. New initiatives in Delhi are working on air quality monitoring, green roof projects, and clean mobility. These may be small efforts, but they give us hope, because real change doesn't begin with governments, it begins with people. We must all understand that pollution is not just Delhi's problem, it's a problem of mindset. When we keep our car engines running unnecessarily, when we burn garbage in the open, or when we think wearing a mask alone will protect us, we become part of the same poison we blame others for. Delhi's struggle is now a warning for every Indian city. If we still do nothing, then in the coming decade, clean air will become what clean water once was: rare, expensive, and limited to a privileged few. And then perhaps, a child will one day ask his parents, "Dad, was there really a time when I was free?" And in that moment, we'll have no answer. Delhi's story has now turned into a warning, a city losing not just its lungs, but also its wealth, its productivity, and its future. If we want to save this city, we must change not just the air, but our mindset too. Because now the time has come to understand life can't be saved behind a mask. It can only be saved within responsibility.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestion. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources news from various news agencies, opinion polls, and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.